Hoy volvemos a cantar No es todo lo que queremos, porque también pretendemos sus conciencias despertar. Y les quiero recordar para que sepa el mundo entero que este grupo jaranero no lo van a intimidar, pues si nos quieren callar, con más fuerza cantaremos. Dice...
For the past few summers, I've had the greatest opportunity to travel to Veracruz, Mexico. I was blessed with creating lifelong bonds and experiences that take some people lifetimes to go through. On my first trip, I was exposed in a personal way to a very revolutionary way of living, full of life, love, and sharing. Through Son Jarocho, the collective of amazing young people I was staying with, I was introduced to a way of living that has forever changed my life. On that first trip, I purchased my jarana and immediately started planning for my return the following summer. But this time I would be taking a few friends with me to be inspired the way I was. Definitely, like, one of the first things that I realized was just like how much of of like an in-between space that like I found myself in, and so because like I growing up in California, like being like very aware that I am like of a Mexican background and feeling like very Mexican, like growing up here, but that's also like a not it all changes like being in Mexico, and so yeah, I feel like I very much I felt that like in between space, like ni de aquí ni de allá, but that's okay, and like feeling okay with that, and I feel like I also I had like a lot of times where I was just thinking about how like what a great privilege like we have to like be able to like travel, and to be able to like easily hop on a plane and like go somewhere else. And so when I would think about that, I felt like this responsibility to like continue exchanging in some way,
The importance of exchanging music, especially when we're not with our relatives, and when our relatives come up and visit and they bring the music, they bring the story, is very important because, again, those borders that they put up for us, it stopped a lot of that. Through the music, we've been able to share those stories and our struggles and understand that we're coming from the same place, and that what's going on in the South with our relatives is going on here. And so it's very important to continue sharing those stories and continue writing new songs and sharing new stories that we have, because there's a lot of new stuff going on to our gente now. So it's very important.
I think it's very important for us to explore the traditions and the lifestyles that our ancestors or grandparents, uncles have in Mexico or other places, because I feel like sometimes those things that whether we call it tradition or culture, those things ground you, like give you a sense of being, especially, you know, being a person of color or someone who's primarily Spanish speaking. Sometimes you feel othered or different here in the U.S. So reconnecting to those roots through music, through dance, really allows you to feel strong and empowered and grounded.
2 years ago, I got an opportunity to go to Fandango Fronterizo, which was the first time that I ever heard about it. And it was in the Tijuana-San Diego border, which my family has known for a long time, and many other families that have migrated to the north. It was amazing. It was a day of resistance. It was a day of civil disobedience. They opened up the border right in the center. And it was a very tearful moment because I remember times when we used to come in and visit my grandmother because she couldn't cross over, or we couldn't cross to the Mexico side. And at the spot that we all meet for the Son Fronterizo is the same spot where we used to come and visit our families. And after the secondary fence got put up, you can no longer touch them or hug them through the fence. I remember, you know, reaching over and hugging folks and stuff, and now there's little wiring where you just could put your finger in and you can't see the person on the other side.
It was a really great opportunity to be able to make my own jarana while I was out there. And again, like I felt so appreciative the whole time that like, to have them like share that knowledge with us and to like let us use their tools and stuff. And it was very, not only like did I learn a lot, and I feel like very connected to that jarana. Like I know like all the different parts of it. It was also like the whole time that we were making it, I feel like it just gave me like a lot of time like for reflection, and I thought a lot about like the trip and like, you know, what I was doing there. But it also really made me appreciate like los señores que hacen las jaranas, you know, like it's so much work, and to think that like for so many generations that it was made like con un machete, like that shit is really, really hard work. And so I think it's really important to like recognize that and remember that like there's a lot of people that are still like practicing like their craft and their artistry, and it comes from like a really long line of like tradition and knowledge.
Al indio le roban tierra y a los negros su color, y a pesar de su dolor siguen firmes en la guerra, porque en esta vida perra tienes que saber quién eres y asumir ya tus deberes, y con sangre escribiré que el valiente siempre vive hasta que el cobarde quiere.
As Crystal, I too was blessed with being able to construct my own jarana. Each piece of wood I measured and cut was a piece of culture that I now possessed. Each cord I strung was a tradition I had inherited. I now proudly play my jarana for the ears of the next 7 generations after me.
So the very beginnings of Jaracol got started in like 2013 when me and Yesenia found out that our homies Edgar and Jasmine also played jarana, and we were all living in Santa Cruz at the time, and Santa Cruz itself is a pretty small town, like pretty small community, and it's also very white. So I feel like, at least in my time here and toward the end, like the folks of color that like I was living with and people that were in like activist spaces, like I really held on to them, you know, because it's like we all really like treasured each other in this like weird little bubble. So we found out that they played, and we were really excited because at that point we only knew one other person who played, our friend Stevie, and and they had told us, they showed us that they had just gotten jaranas and that they were learning. So we got together and we told each other that we would show each other like what we knew, and we all kind of started learning from each other, teaching each other, and also, you know, trying to like watch YouTube videos or like ask our other resources, and then we would come back and like share with each other. And that was like a really beautiful thing to me because we didn't really have a jaranero community, you know, like from what Yesenia taught me, it was just like what Yesenia knew, you know, like because I didn't know any other people that played jarana, especially in Santa Cruz.
So once I had my jarana, and I had only been playing for a couple months, and then we were like through Facebook. My partner Jasmine and I were looking for like other people who wanted to join, and we actually wanted to organize a fandango here in Santa Cruz. And we realized how much Son Jarocho is about building a community and not just like having an event, like a one-time event, you know. So we realized that first we had to build this community or connect to the existing community.
Definitely from the beginning, part of me joining the group and starting off with them, I didn't know anything about keeping a rhythm. I didn't know anything about the cajon. I had no idea about Son Jarocho. I was more into the hip hop, more into the house music than anything growing up here in the United States. But other than that, the fact that Crystal and Yesenia introduced me to Son Jarocho kind of really woke me up, and I'm really enjoying learning about it and trying to see how it's gonna stay in my life. You know, it's teaching me something new.
We very much all learn from each other, and whenever we learn something new, we, you know, like make sure to share it with the group.
So when we get together, with Jasmine, with you, with Crystal, it's about, el convivio, getting together, sharing food, something to drink. It's about the whole experience. It's not just having a one-time event and then see you later.
I guess what really struck me was like learning about like the community involvement in Son Jarocho, and how much like it is about the music, but it's also about like bringing people together and seeing and learning about guapangos and how like everybody gets together, and it's very much like a tradition that is about like it's like the music is a small part of like a bigger collective tradition that has like all kinds of different like factors that go into it. In us hanging out more and just playing and making food and talking, we really created like a creative space that was brought together because of Son Jarocho, but has like expanded to not just Son Jarocho, but something that I think like something that is truly like all of us as individuals.
The whole Jaracol thing just kind of happened naturally, where we wanted to share our music and wanted to stay in touch with other people making music. So Jaracol was a result of us just getting together and having fun and sharing food, sharing music that we all connect to, and ultimately, I feel like we all got to this point and started hanging out because we all had the similar interest of getting in touch with our ancestry.
I think something that I really like about Son Jarocho and the Fandangos is that it's so welcoming to everyone, any level, anything. It's a space for everyone, and I think it's been great to bring people into the space just to experience it one time or just to become part of it. And I think the thing that I like about it is that you don't necessarily have to be the best. You don't have to play really well, and the songs are so long that sometimes you struggle with it at the beginning, but then by the end you feel like you're part of it. And at a Fandango, people like help you out. They see that you're struggling and they step in. They're like, hey, just follow this one instead. I think it's just something that I really like about it is the fact that it's so welcoming to beginners and to different people.
Another thing that I really love about Jaracol is that we all have different skills and we are all involved in like different things in our lives, whether it's like through work or like through organizations that like we're a part of, and it feels very much like like that is ultimately like that is what a community is about, is like people that get together for one common vision, like one common goal, but you also bring in all of the other things that you have to offer. So I really appreciate that about Jaracol.
I think it is revolutionary. I think that in a sense, colonialism and imperialism work by breaking bonds, by breaking family relationships, by breaking up friendships, by trying to assimilate you into a culture, by whitewashing your experience here in the US. So music does the opposite, right? It builds those friendships that I just talked about. It helps you build a sense of community. It helps you feel strong, empowered, and it makes you have a voice. You can sing, you can play, you feel loud, you have a presence. So in a sense, it is revolutionary. I feel like getting in touch to your roots through music counteracts all these effects of isolation, of alienation that a lot of us as women, people of color, experience a sense of otherness, of not belonging here. So yeah, I do think that it is a very important project. Son Jarocho getting together, meeting other musicians, creating a community through music and through dance.
And I'm excited to see it grow, and I'm excited to see us grow musically, and also to like see where we all can like take Jaracol in terms of like different spaces and inviting different people, and continue to like make new connections, whether it's here in California or in Mexico or like another state. So